Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is Zach Honeycut, the guitarist for IBEX, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. And today is an honor and privilege to have another local group that is based here in Eastern Kentucky. He is from the metal band IBEX. His name is Mr. Zach Honeycut. He's the guitarist of that band. We're going to be talking to him about their current album that's out right now. That's been out since 2011, and see what they got cooking up now and what's going on. So, Zach, how's it going?
It's going good, dude. I haven't been up too long.
Let's talk about the Concrete album that you guys have out. What impressed you the most about making that album? God,
dude. I think, to be honest, the guitar tones is what stuck out the most on me. Like, for some reason, like that was the first time I really walked in somewhere and recorded something pretty well. And like the tones just made it really, really good for me. Like Twan was able to figure out exactly like the mic placements and things like that, and for me that was like the first time kind of learning that thing back then. And it was just like the mic placement and everything was extremely easy to do for him and everything like that. And somehow he just made it all sound extremely good. You know what I mean? So
right.
If anything, I would say that like just how the guitar tone sounded on that album was awesome.
I want to talk a little bit, you guys went the sludge route. A lot of bands around here, they don't want to do that. They want to stay, I guess, with the flow. You got your southern rock, you got your stuff like that, but why did you guys want to go the sludge route? Why did you guys want to be a little bit different?
We've always been kind of big sludge dudes, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, a lot of the influences we have comes from, like, a bottle iron sauce and crowbar and stuff like that, you know? It's kind of weird that not a lot of bands do that kind of stuff around, or at least where we're from anyways, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess the reason is just we just like it. I mean, we just like playing that kind of stuff. We like to listen to it. We just like the really, you know, like low tuning, very slow, sluggish type riffs, and then just kind of pick it back up with a sweet two-step riff, you know?
How much growth have you seen this band go through since the album Concrete up till now of what you guys are working on, if any?
We've seen an extreme amount of growth. Compared to Concrete, the stuff we have out now, it's more, I'm not going to say mature, because that's extremely cliche, and We're not that mature to begin with. So, like, the music is kind of just, it's hard to explain. It's more riffage, if that makes any sense. You know, we're working harder on the songwriting and the actual riffs themselves than just trying to make things sound cool. So we're actually it sounds a little more I guess more punchy, if that makes sense.
How hard do you guys push yourself to come up with something new from song to song than what's out there today, or can you really do that?
Dude, I don't know if we push ourselves at all to write new songs. We just kind of like we just do it. Like me and Twan will get together and we'll just kind of riff around, and we'll seriously just turn some riffs that we actually like into songs. Just base an entire song around one riff that we really like, and just kind of go from there with it.
Zach, who produced the album Concrete, and how was working with him?
That would be Anthony Fugit, who we call Twan, which is also the other guitarist for IBEX. And working with him was pretty sweet, dude.
Did he just let you guys go your own way and step in when you needed to, or did he just let you do whatever?
He gave us advice here and there. He helped out our vocalist on that album a whole lot too. Mm-hmm. When it was me and him recording our guitar tracks, it was more of a straightforward kind of thing. We already knew what we were wanting to do, and we were just kind of both of us would kind of throw out ideas. Like he actually made a lot more of the harmonized stuff on the album. So most of that stuff actually came from him while we were sitting down and recording it. So yeah, he definitely helps the recording process a whole lot and adds to certain songs too. So it's always good to have that kind of dude that's also in your band. You know what I mean?
What's it mean to you guys, man, when people say, hey, look, we've took notice of IBEX and plus your other stuff that you're working on? What's it mean to you coming from Eastern Kentucky and people taking a notice to it and liking it?
It was pretty awesome, dude, for sure. Like, you don't really get that a whole lot around here now. There's, or from what I know of anyways, you know, there's not a whole lot of Eastern Kentucky, like, local bands anymore. A lot of the places around here that, you know, things have been kind of dying off over the past few years, but they seem to be picking up a little bit again, which is great. But whenever someone's like, hey, you know, I remember IBEX, or hey, you know, I remember whenever y'all played your secret release show, and sometimes, very rarely, people will come up and say, man, I still jam IBEX, you know, when you guys want to get back together. And that stuff always feels pretty good, dude, for sure. Like, that's pretty cool feeling whenever someone can come up and say that they jam your band and, like, actually like them. So it's pretty neat.
So what about IBEX right now? Are you guys working on anything new, or are you guys just doing your own thing? Okay.
Yeah, we're actually all working on new stuff. We kind of took a little breather for a long time. We all had a lot of different things going on. Like, I moved, you know, a few hours away out of town, and a lot of people, we had another dude move out to Colorado and everything. So we all just kind of worked on ourselves for a few years, and just recently actually got back together. We have about 12 songs written right now, but we're working on more of like a double EP type of thing.
Nice.
Like, we're not going to have a full, like, it's going to be kind of a full length, but the way we're going to have, like, we have it planned anyways, is put out an EP and then put out like a second part to that EP, or demo, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But I think all in all, it's going to be like 14 songs or something like that. So
you're from Eastern Kentucky, you're in Hazard, I'm in Floyd County. We both know that getting a show around here is like pulling fucking teeth. It is the hardest. It's the hardest thing to do. But do you guys have to travel away from here many hours just to get a show, or the local shows? Let's talk about this a little bit.
Mm-hmm. When IBEX was doing it, we didn't have to travel too far. Like, the last time, or like the last little while that we were playing shows and stuff, I think the farthest we traveled was Prestonsburg to play a show. I was in a couple other bands, so you had to play a little bit. Like, I was in a band based out of Richmond, drove to Hazard to play shows then. But no, IBEX never really had a problem with finding shows that were like out of town or having to drive too far away. We've always found some that were decently close here. You know, we played a lot of shows here in Hazard and Wattsburg, and Wattsburg shows were awesome too, for sure.
Yeah, you had the Apple shop over there and everything.
Yeah, we were playing. I forgot what the place was called, man. But it's kind of like it looks like a mailroom type of thing. But I think it was called the Tourism Building. But that place was awesome for shows, man.
What can fans expect at a show from IBEX when they get to see you guys live?
Oh God. Just like for us to act like cavemen, dude. Like, we're all pretty dumb when we play shows.
Fire bad.
We just sweat a lot and just look dumb. We just like that's it. But like, we just always have a good time. See, like, we're always jumping around and stuff. So I think, like, if someone came out to watch us, they'd be pretty stoked on it.
How much local support do you guys get? And has any radio stations approached you guys to want to play some of your music possibly around here?
No radio stations have ever asked us to play anything. That would be cool. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, man, like, I've never heard anything from a radio station that I put out or anything. So
what about local support from people? How much do you guys get from the locals?
Actually, it's really good. Like, we've always had a pretty good following and everything when it comes to local support. Like, everybody usually backs IBEX pretty well.
What does IBEX bring to the table for music, Zach, that may not be out there right now from local groups or any bands out there at this point?
I don't know about that, dude. Like, I would say, if anything, we like to do a lot of the ambient stuff here lately, and we've been recording a lot of things. Like, the way we actually take our first step and everything is we want to write music and record music to where we know that we can play it live. Like, we don't want to have some, like, backtrack or some sort of sample playing along. And I think a lot of bands, like, they've been doing that a whole lot, and they're starting to rely more on the, like, how electronics and stuff like that, how that's helping them out more and benefiting them more. But in reality, they can't, like play it live.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to avoid that. We try to at least write things that we know that we're not going to need some sort of sample for, or some sort of, you know what I mean? Like we like to keep it to where we're, authentic. We want to keep it to where we know what we're playing and we play. Like everything you see us play is exactly what we're playing. So.
What was it for you that made you want to become a musician? What was that spark that said, that's what I want to do?
I think it was Korn, man. I was like first grade jamming Korn, and I wanted like a 7-string guitar.
Nice.
Yeah, I was in like second grade. I started listening to Slipknot, and then I saw Mick and James. I'm pretty sure that's exactly where I was like, okay, I think the guitar looks cool.
How crucial is it to keep metal/rock/punk, horror, whatever music alive in the hills and valleys of Eastern Kentucky?
Dude, it's super important. Like, it's still it's not as much. It's not here as much as what it used to be. But keeping like the hardcore scene alive in Eastern Kentucky, man, that's a huge thing for sure. Because it kind of goes in and out. It kind of comes in waves, like every so often, every few years, it'll be huge, and then it'll kind of slow down. People start, having their own lives, start doing their own things and stuff like that. But it's very, very important to keep it alive around here.
I'm just going to say this right now. I've been jamming out to the IBEX CD Concrete, and I'm very, very impressed with this. There's a lot of great bands in Eastern Kentucky, so we're not just some slapstick holler people, so get that out of your fucking heads, folks. We know what we're doing. With that being said, man, you have total support from BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio from here on out, my friend.
Thanks, dude.
How can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise if they can, or pick up the Concrete album. How can he do that, Zach?
Best possible way is to contact us through Facebook.
I do know, and I don't know if you want me to say there's not, but they can still pick up the Concrete album for free right now, right? On the Reverb Nation, is that what it is?
We have it all uploaded to YouTube, actually.
Okay.
But you have the entire album uploaded there, so if you want to jam it there, and I think there might be maybe 3 or 4 songs on Reverb.
Okay.
But we have the entire thing up on YouTube, man.
Hey, before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Yeah, sure. This is Zach Honeycut, the guitarist for IBEX, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.